Yes. Can you just give David is the DSO support, our team director. Okay, and David, you want to just start?
Yeah, sure. So, good meeting you. I see you on screen. My name is David Wu. I'm the director for support and transformation. So I have a few teams, and one of the teams being DSO support, right? And what we're trying to do is build a support team, really a SRE team. I don't know if you heard of the term SRE from Google, to really help our DSO domain, right? So that's kind of where we are today, and what we're trying to build, right? We are an international company. Hopefully you read a little bit about DTCC. We're a financial company, internationally, globally, have a lot of offices throughout, and we're here just to kind of fill a opening we have in Chennai, and that's why we're having this conversation. So that's a little bit about the company and myself. So maybe we can get started. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you give me a background of just give me some details about yourself and your work experience, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Coming to my background, I have got 2 to 3 years of experience in IT industry as a Devops engineer. So basically, I'm working as a Devops engineer and Amazon engineer with the United Health Group in the New Jersey, and involved in designing and applying a large application utilizing most of the Amazon stack. And yeah, I was also responsible for monitoring and editing of productions and corporate services to Elastic Compute Cloud, as well as the storage touches to S3 bucket, and also the configuring virtual data center in the Amazon Web Services. Yeah, and also I'm also responsible for using the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instance and trying to internal data center systems and working on Amazon integration deployment, working on the deployment directly into the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances. So here, the creating the deployment of the Amazon infrastructure to Terraform templates and steps the work of the set of Terraform configures. It is the main Terraform file and outputs, and also manage the deployment system automation using Docker, and also but not the automation of the system, which make developers to follow the standard build scripts, automating the build process by using Jenkins and Jenkins plugins. And then I was also responsible for working on Jenkins repository. I'm applying in target environment, responsible for building and working consistently of repeatable deployment, hardworking on automation, and deploying utility bash, and working on the hands-on the collaborate with design teams and instrument parts. We are able to call to create and call support. And I was also responsible for working on the custom Jenkins builds, and it is a multi-branch declarative pipeline inside, so that we can actually do the various kinds of declarative deployment. And working on the virtualization inside that followed in 50, and also working on the snapshot in Explore to upload to the Winter website. And of a work of the analysis to the application, application should be connected, applied there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a lot. It seems like you have a lot of AWS experience. So maybe you can talk a little bit about like your CI/CD experience.
Sorry.
Can you talk a little bit about your CI/CD experience?
Yeah, sure. So basically, coming to the continuous integration and deployment pipelines, it is working. Continuous integration and deployment pipeline is real-time services, and also work on the source code integration channels of responsible. And some of the third-party environment and also release management inside that, trying to handle some of the source deployment services. So which we were taken from where I was responsible for universal of the deployment and had written into the third-party environment. So the approval is there. I'm trying to also work in the source integration and trying to work on Maven build. So basically, this is what working with automatic figure on the code. So using the webhook, which is the main thing inside And then webhook is triggered. The next would be to actually go, so the integration and measurement for the automation record the so will be used in the Ansible playbook and to be able to reply for the on target nation with the integration services, and then finally reply to the Tomcat of the target nation with the integration services. Finally, then Tomcat nation is so that which we can should have the Ansible integration done, and those released on top of that. They are also responsible for working on rollback of the code. A problem with the application application of control back. So the previous stable version of the code, so that has specifically released on the real-time services.
Okay, so you said a lot, so I'm just going to try to kind of break it down a little bit.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Are you? Yeah. So are you actually working on the pipeline, or are you kind of supporting it? Are you going through the code? Like, what's your actual involvement?
Yeah. So I'm working on the build and release pipeline inside the application source code. So basically, I'm responsible for working on the build and release integration for the application integration. And then we are trying to create the multi-branch declarative pipeline. So we should be taken from there and specifically handle the third-party services. So the pipeline is great. It will be ensured handwritten the runtime services. I'm trying to work on that. Okay,
so it's really build and release. What about after that? Do you support the issues that happens or any of that?
Yeah, the issues which will happen, we are the people who are supporting the issues of the application teams. And then also in the production tools to fix this is well logging into the machines and enter it, also go and try to specify the services of the top, so that the machine level environment is responsible for helping the service integration and deployment. And also we get this services specifically integrated. So the log of the application, if there is any problem, and specifically handle the service level integration. So the third party is one of the local integration environments. So then it is rolled back to the previous version of the code.
Okay. I guess, Nithya, do you have questions for her?
Yeah. And I think, I spoke to you last week, right? But still, can you just, for since David is here, can you tell me, some details about the scripting or, the build work, you have done with an example, right? Take an example of an application that was asked, where you were asked to provision and deploy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you just tell that, how you went about that? Okay, what is your experience in scripting through using, Terraforms or Groovy scripts, or, using the tools like Jenkins, some monitoring tools? Okay, can you just explain, how you go about, how did you go about, and what was the end result in terms of, how much support you were asked to do after you built the pipeline?
Yeah, sure. So basically, in my team, eventually after provision, and they apply the entire continuous integration and deployment pipeline in LSD infrastructure of a Starfall. So I started working in terms of scripting. It could be taken from there, and their handled on the runtime environment was responsible. So for creating the cloud formation templates, and then months and templates are created. We will be action using those templates to be able to specifically provision. So the infrastructure and the events is provision. We will do the DNS mapping. DNS mapping is using the custom script and using a custom Python script. I will be actually going ahead and trying to the SQL database dump into the injection of the database. So back up the inside the application and specifically handle the provision of the integration environment for the deployment service. Then we handle the release of the application source code inside the inside. So apart from that, was responsible for doing the cloud integration and setting up the multi-branch declarative pipeline. So yeah, we are using the cloud formation templates as well as the Terraform templates temperature. Inside that, the infrastructure is good and healthy. So DNS mapping inside that, so the customer services could be taken from there and define it.
And do you use any monitoring tools, like for you know uh, health checking and log monitoring, things like that?
Yeah, I was using the app dynamics as well as the Neuralink to be able to monitor the application source code. And apart from that, also using the word infrastructure monitoring and responsible for checking the health of the application, as well as the number of requests which are coming into the application from the source environment and working on some of the source integration requirements. So top of that, I'm trying to work on infrastructure association for the checking of the health of the application. Yeah, and elements inside that sending out the email notification to various stakeholders so that we can understand how the code is created on top of that for the source integration services and define infrastructure association on top of the third party.
Okay, right. And what about you provision and deploy the application? Okay, so application upgrades and the infrastructure upgrades, right? How do you do that? Were you involved in doing that, like patching or the newer version of the application deployment? Okay, how this all these things marry together, in terms of CI/CD?
Yes, yeah, sure. So coming to the application infrastructure update, reaction is using Ansible playbook. So basically, Ansible playbook will be actually helping us to do various kinds of services on the top of the newer version of the application. So the deployment in this case, it is gonna be done by using the new application integration and measurements. And yeah, apart from that, I can show you the automatic infrastructure creations of the Ansible playbook, and it is actually good to help us to do the blue-green deployment inside that for Ansible playbooks. And yeah, then we will be doing March W+2 and then green class inside. So for class where integration and then specifically the deployment are going to be held on the ServiceNow integration orchestrated there.
Okay.
Did you actually wrote the Ansible playbook?
Sorry?
Did you actually write the Ansible playbooks?
Yeah, definitely. I will be responsible for writing the customer Ansible playbook from the scratch. So basically, I was responsible for writing the Ansible playbook from the scratch and then time to handle some of the Ansible playbook integrations on third-party services. Yeah, and I also work for some of the release management inside that. So basically, it was responsible for working on the Ansible handles, so various kinds of files and templates which will be created on top of and using the custom variables for the application.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, have you worked with Chef?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Ansible and Chef?
Sorry?
What's the difference you see with Chef and Ansible?
Yeah, the main difference between the Chef is fact that actually used for the client and server model, whereas Ansible is actually equal to be having the only server base and there is no client, so it is agentless model. So inside the Ansible, so you don't have any agent install that remote machine as part of the application source code in the client environment.
Okay, very good. All right, let me just, so I know Naveen, Nitya and Delisha interview you. We're actually going to have an architect that's going to be joining us shortly, but let me ask you some of kind of the management type questions, right? So why are you looking to leave?
Sorry?
Your existing position. Why are you looking to leave your existing position?
Because it is contract.
Oh, it's contract based?
Yeah, also, yeah, it is contract based and it's ending.
Oh, okay. And what firm have you worked? What firm? Like, I didn't really see the firms here. What firm have you worked with? And you mentioned New Jersey, so I'm not sure. Is that the client?
Yeah, so basically coming with the company with United Health Group with the New Jersey. So basically, this is the client which is actually working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the basic client, and I also working with the client Adobe system in California.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And can you explain a difficult situation you dealt with, and how did you kind of deal with it?
Yes, definitely. I would like, yeah, definitely. Coming to the difficult situation, there was a problem in production servers and it was not responding properly from the application source code. So the perspective was like a check failure inside the load balancers, and I was given the call by application team. So I actually checked, and so that application load balancer health check was failing because some of the backend database for saving the connection JDBC issue. So inside the JDBC string was not loading from the application properties. So to find the private head and fix that by editing the string, because someone actually committed the wrong string in the properties file. So the server to this was one of the actually found that one of the developers was doing the testing and production. So yeah, we have to escalate the issue for the development team manager, and we are actually given a strict warning of doing editing the production environment server. So this is a big problem we had the production, which caused downtime of the website for almost 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so that's a technical one, right? What about, from your career experience side? Like, did you have problems with your colleagues, customers, a difficult interaction with maybe your manager,
Yeah, coming to my career experience, I have had problem with my manager in my previous organization, where manager was doing the micromanagement, and I had actually, tell him that, I would really get the work done, but I don't like someone sitting all the time on my back. And, this was some ways I told him that I really want to time and space to be able to work really comfortable. I would like to say that he was doing the micromanagement and doing the time management is all the time.
Okay, that's fair. We're definitely, well, my personal management style is definitely not like that. We're professionals here, right? We all get paid, to do a job, and once you have direction, you guys run with it, right? Like I don't have time to micromanage, right?
But David, can I just interject? How did you manage that situation? It is whatever you're telling. Okay, it's difficult situation, but how did you manage that situation? Because you have to be working, right? Whether he micromanages, he's behind you, all those things, but still you have to work, deliver.
Yes.
So how did you cope this?
Yeah, I was actually managing the situation by not getting the work done on time and then time to update him up daily. So about the work which was accomplished, because he really wanted to do just the micromanagement, I told him the daily progress and of the updated the team meetings, and then he actually was comfortable with me and he started entrusting me and he stopped to the micromanagement because he really want kind of insecure person. So I actually
Okay.
All right. Okay.
That's fair. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, so I see myself as a DevOps architect or maybe a solution architect. I'm actually doing the architecture of the application on a high level. So utilizing the mother and the time environment, and also working on the release management services. Hello?
Okay, what do you mean the release management services? So I heard in 5 years you want to become a solution engineer or architect, right? So what's the release management piece?
Yeah, I really want to be a solution architect and also the DevOps architect. Apart from that, also maybe a lead of team of DevOps engineer, where election in leading and doing the architecture design of the application. Also, I mentioned the source code environment and then getting those things done.
Oh, okay, very good. So how do you gain your skills? Like, what do you do to take yourself to get more understanding, learning, and so forth?
Yeah, coming to the training of the skill developers, that we actually get the learning of the application and elements in the learning services. So, and then coming to the training services is reaction having teaser third-party environment. So, as the application source code and then get those learning services and apply them on top of that.
Okay, sorry. So let me just, so you're learning from the application source code and so forth, but like, how do you, get yourself to learn something new? Like, not just from the application side, right? From AWS that you talked about, Jenkins, Ansible, like, how do you upskill yourself?
Yes, yeah, I would like to say that we'll be action using multiple Jenkins plugins inside. So that's why I will be trying to never look at the YouTube videos and also do documentation and setting up the missions on the local environment. Yeah, and apart from that, I also looking at some of the third parties integration environment for the services and also work on the YouTube services and documentation went inside the service code.
Okay. So do you know what the concept of SRE?
Yes, I have been kind of playing the role of site reliability engineer in my previous year, all setting up the monitoring
Okay.
of the uptime of project. And apart from that, yeah, business continuity plan as well as the various kinds of custom scripts for making sure that we have the automatic backup software website. So inside for the application source code in the Matrix environment.
I'm sorry, you broke up. Can you repeat that again around the SRE?
Sorry?
Yeah, you broke up. So can you repeat that about your the SRE work?
Yeah, I was setting up the custom script for the site reliability engineering. Yeah, and apart from that, I was also responsible for what are some of the release management of the site engineering environment. And apart from that, responsible for setting up the backup and custom monitoring inside that. So the site engineering services which were taken from there, and also working with some of the orchestrated monitoring. So the setting up the disaster recovery services inside that, we should be taken from there and handling the occupations of the application source. So this could be taken on the disaster recovery management environment. So and the services, we should be held on the runtime environment, and we don't have to worry about the process of yes. I was also responsible for working on designing the high availability of the application inside that.
Okay, very good. So what motivates you?
Yeah, the fact I'm working on DevOps as a site reliability engineering is there. Then YouTube picture coming to the market really motivate me and really want me to work on the new and the greatest working things inside the inside. So you also the Selena someone YouTube like new technology and automating staff really motivates me a lot of achieving my job and my roles.
Sorry, repeat that again.
So the site reliability engineering is there. So YouTube picture coming to the market really motivate me. So and I really want to work for the new latest working things inside. So also know the Selena someone YouTube like a new technology and automating the staff really motivates me a lot of achieving my jobs and my roles. And I really want to work on latest and greatest technology, which really motivates me a lot because I want to work on the Kubernetes and down Amazon Web Services and all of the cloud services. So like the various targets achieving on top of that.
Okay, I mean, so you're definitely interviewing with the right firm because we are pretty cutting edge. We're a financial firm, so there's a lot of risk kind of management, right? We need to make sure that whatever we do don't impact our markets and obviously production, right? But we are, I mean, we're talking about DevOps here, right? So we are using the latest technology, and we are trying to kind of move the firm forward to using, all the different capabilities and automation and cloud and so forth, right? But it is so it's definitely an exciting space. From your experience as well, do you and you talked about releases and so forth. So do you understand the ITIL process, change management process, and so forth?
Yes, definitely. I understand the change management process, and I also understand the process for that. So basically, I would like to say I was also working on the IT process is how we will actually management and time environment.
Okay. Go ahead, Nijit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is very exciting to know, like your the way you approach. Okay, and I know you're excited. I mean, you're already experienced in SRE, okay, and you work on the different aspects of DevSecOps, right? DevOps, right?
Yeah.
So, when you're doing all this automation, bringing in this culture, of the DevSecOps and all those things, how you measure, the throughput of the service you're providing, how it is helping the organization or your customers? How do you measure that? Like what is the metrics? Like how do you collect the metrics for measuring this? What are the tools you use?
Yeah, I'll be measuring it by looking at the various kinds of Jira tickets inside that. Apart from that, also looking at the matrix inside the Jira and the conference of the tickets. So which we are using inside that, and then your soul of the time inside that, be able to understand, how the logs are taking us, and also try to track the times you do. So the tracking inside that one ticket, we also do the time taken for the tickets, and like them on the third party environments. We can. So I should have the log of the application, and right also have the time tracking every month. So that we can understand how much of the effort every team member is putting on the stuff.
Very nice.
Hey, I also see that Naveen, who is our DevOps architect, is on. And Naveen, I'm going to mess up the name.
Tanuja. That's okay.
Yeah, so Naveen, basically she wants your job in 5 years. so feel free to interview her.
I can retire.
Yes.
Yeah, so Tanuja, I was just looking at your resume, and I was kind of hearing, the responses that you're actually giving to Nitya, right? So I'm going to see, the thing is, I just like to put people into a specific scenario, and I want to see how they will cope up with it, right? Like you are looks like, you are pretty much hands-on on troubleshooting and everything, right? You found out that there is a error that is actually constantly happening the last 3 months, right?
Yes.
Customers are always complaining. You have a manual workaround to fix it, right? Just to get the customers moving. But there is something fundamentally wrong the way things have been done, and it is constantly throwing an error, right?
Yes.
And you are, absolutely, I'll be frustrated. I'm assuming that you'll be frustrated too, right? So tell me, how would you handle that scenario, and how would you, take it forward?
Yeah. So yes, I will handle this scenario by first of all going to the root, because see, what is causing the problems of this can be database. Of this can be like application, which can be causing the problems for our RESTful web services, APS. I will also try to go to the root cause and babysit of the developer, of the architect, and try to understand what exactly the system is having the problem of this. So that can be like a database connection or REST API call or whatever, or try to drill down the exact root cause, and so that try to get the automated or fix from the code level. So yeah, I try to address the capacity problem or whatever it is the problem. In this case, so the high level approach is the case to be able to fix the problem. So because that will help me to the various kinds of services on the top of the runtime. Yeah.
Let me stop you there, right? Like, let's say that this is an application problem which you don't own. You are on the support end. But you know how to fix the problem, right? But you are actually patching it on a temporary basis. This is nothing to do with technology or anything. You know the problem. You know a workaround. You're patching it. It's all good, right? So I'm not really worried about that, right? Technically, right? Now I want to hear your skill set, and you have to, because you don't own the application and you are supporting it, and so you somehow need to come up with a solution, right? How would you communicate back that to higher management, and how would you really see of resolving this permanently?
Yes, I will communicate in the bank higher management by drafting an email. So in which I will tell you the possible pictures of the application problems, and also I will try to communicate about the fact that is unnecessary time waste for all the engineering working on the team, so that you to do all the manual stuff, and inside that also work on the communication of the application source code. And yeah, handling these third-party environments, the manual stuff inside that also work on the communication, integration, servers. So yeah, the third-party services integration source code, and then use the communication integration in this case. So we are able to handle it on the target mission, so that we can actually use this on the higher management. The highlight of the fact that we can fix it once and for all, rather than unnecessary wasting time on a daily basis.
So you know the problem as well. So will you be able to talk to those application team who owns that piece of code to actually patch it?
Yes, I will.
And they say, okay, so let's say that they come back saying that we don't have time. This is not in our priority radar. What would you do?
I will try. I will try to, that they maybe send an email to the development team manager. So then, and now tell them that's okay. That means, this is something which is actually unnecessary, wasting the time of the DevOps team. So, and then we'll also tell them that this is also a priority and velocity it is taken inside Jira service. So now that this can be assigned to the various stakeholders for the application.
Okay. But still, they don't fix it. I'm being sarcastic, like you will see. The thing is, you will find such kind of scenarios, right? The problem. It's like a single line change, and
yes,
still not ready to do it, right? So, will you be tempted to go back checking the code in their branch? That's what's going to happen, right? Like eventually.
No. I will not do that. I will not do that. It will not. So no, I will not do that because I have no in that case. So I don't want to unnecessarily step in their shoes because I really don't want to waste my time. So that because this is not my area, but I will definitely make sure that I write a custom script which will do it automatically. So I don't have to manually unnecessarily do that runtime integration and monuments. So I'll try to make sure that I send it out in automatic email, also using script, and all the developers to fix that.
So developers are not fixing, and your management is asking you to compose something to higher up management. Maybe you're supposed to respond to ED and MD. So when you are talking to an ED and MD about a problem statement, right, and you need to let him know the problem. So what are the key things that you would highlight in your email that shows urgency of this problem?
You're
escalating it, by the way. You're basically escalating it, right?
Okay. So coming to key things, which I will highlight in email, would be the first. All I will be going ahead and trying to no locator. So basically, when I have to escalate them to the higher management, I will be doing yes. I will be trying to understand what is the main issue and try to give a good technical description to the various stakeholders. So in this case, I was actually give them a good technical description of the main issue and a good email in which we'll be writing all the root cause analysis and understanding how we could fix it so possible fixes can be there. And then lines on the top of this. So thank you, also specifying the features of the application inside that, and also maybe suggesting how we can get the development team members to able to do that, because this is wasting like a main 12 hours every day for the day 15. So also the waste of manpower on daily basis.
This is all good, Tanuja. I'm going to ask you like some other thing. Let's say that your higher ups are not technical, right? You have to really use some terms which they understand and they see that there is urgency. So what are those key terms that you would put in, which is not technical, that shows the urgency?
Yeah, what I will be doing, as I will be trying to, maybe look at some of the things inside. So that's where I'll be trying to tell them that this is a daily wasting XYZ amount of time for the stakeholders, and tell them, wasting time is much amount of manpower, which we could use for other productive things, and this can be fixed once and for all in this.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Dhanuja. That was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm good. So, I thought, Nitya, you have already covered technical, right? Yes, Navin. Yes. That should wait from me, man.
Good. Naveen, you're letting her off the hook a little bit, I think. Can you ask her some?
Nitya said he already covered technicals, so I thought,
Yeah, but she wants your position in 5 years, so I want you to give her a couple of your questions that she, help you with it.
Okay. So, Tanuja, right? So, tell me, like, on your technical background areas, right? Like, which areas are you more comfortable in? Is it scripting, development, application development? What is your area of expertise?
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with Jenkins and also Jenkins file-based Ruby pipeline. So basically, very much comfortable with Jenkins integration on the third party. I was not at Amazon Web Service and having source integration. And orchestration. Apart from that, I would like to say I'm very much comfortable with working on the release management side as well. And we could get the release management done as part of third party and also get the approvals from stakeholders. So yes, I'm responsible for doing some of the scripting. So I would like to say the high-level scripting and Amazon Web Services, and also Jenkins and continuous integrations and deployment is major things we shall be actually working.
Okay, so tell me, so like how do you rate yourself in Jenkins?
So
Like, how much do you rate yourself between 1 to 10? You know, when 1 being lowest and 10 being highest. You know, where do you rate yourself?
I'll let myself as 8 out of 10 in Jenkins. So basically,
Oh,
I'll
wow,
rate myself 8 of 10 in the Jenkins, and I will actually saying that I'm pretty much an expert in Jenkins. I'm in time Excel, using Jenkins for the custom integrations for the third party. I'm trying to work on the environment. I'm trying to work on the Jenkins environment.
So see, I don't. Okay, so let me put a use case for you and tell me what will you do, right? So you have a Jenkins running, right? And you are noticing there is a high CPU.
Okay.
Right? Like Jenkins is running, but the box where Jenkins is running, it became slow and it is running on a very, very high CPU. Right? Tell me, how would you troubleshoot that problem?
Yes, basically, first of all, I'm going ahead and check how many jobs are running on Jenkins machines. Then I'll be trying to look at how many jobs are executing. Then how many executives are being used in the Jenkins machines of this one thing. And apart from that, I'll be also looking at the amount of DRAM which is allocated to JVM, which is a Java virtual machine, and then also looking at how we could do the various kinds of integration services. So on top of that, so the connection to get Java virtual machine required, we can get the services orchestrated on the real-time services. And also implements used in the connection of the Java virtual integration and release management of the service right now. So have the real-time integration which are taken from there and implement them as a part of suggestion services. So which we can be taken on the Java.
No, Tanuja, right? Like what I'm saying is, you just joined the team, right?
Okay.
And you got a first call saying that my job is not running or it's been extremely slow. You went back to your VMstat/Splunk and you see there is 100% CPU utilization, right? So you saw there is 100% CPU. Like, tell me the steps that you will, like, what would be the next steps you will do to troubleshoot the problem? You notice there is 100% CPU on it, right? You have access to the box. You have access to the Jenkins console, right? Like, tell me what are the areas that you will look into it to troubleshoot the problem.
So first of all, I will be logging into Jenkins machine and remarkable of commands which include but not limited. So the top of command and also working in Android using the free command. So using the inside the console, I will be looking at the job executive status with the console output, and we'll be looking at the scheduled jobs in the job which are running concurrently. I will also check the number of executive reached there. And then coming to the bank, I will also check the memory and the swap memory utilization. So inside that, so that I can actually check the swap memory utilization on top of that. So this is the mostly, this is mostly going to be a like of lot of jobs which are running on the Jenkins machine, and like it on third party, and this is to be like a main thing which will be cause the problem.
Okay, so Tanuja, so let's say while looking into it, there is only one job that is actually running, and that is taking all the Jenkins jobs. There's only one job running. What will you look into that job that will help you find out what's going on with it?
So there's only one job which is running on the machine. So yes, this case there can be some utilization of the Maven build. Somewhere maybe there is a Maven command which is causing the problem. So that can be one of the big issue in this case. So Maven build issues, or this can be like memory issue inside the Maven, which is going to be calling some dependency from the remote environment. So it is utilizing it on runtime services, and apart from this, it can be like a problem with Selenium test or other kind of test which is running inside the job, which is using a lot of memory, CPU, and this can be building an artifact which has a lot of dependencies. So like transitive dependencies as a part of the application source code, I know. So this is what I would like to say. It will be the main thing for the artifact environment.
So let's say that the CPU is fine, everything is fine,
Okay.
but your job is not executing.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
So basically, if CPU is fine and the job is fine, I would like to say what will go wrong in this case is it is the fact that there may be some kind of other thing running on the Jenkins machine. So this I will have to look at the process list and see if there is anything else which is running on the Ganges basin. So this is causing the problem to be able to fix that inside that and use on the runtime services.
Okay. Have you encountered anything with licensing?
Yes.
Jenkins licensing, right? So tell me what kind of issues you'll run into licenses.
Yes, basically Jenkins licensing reverse using the Jenkins Cloud-based license. So basically inside this licensing, it will, to only the specific number of courses will be something like the Cloud-based Jenkins and running on top of that a license integration, and this will be used for doing the licensing of the application. So specific number of executors will be available on top. So the machine tool is the main problem in this case, and alignment integration. So inside this, so using delicensing of the application environment inside that.
Okay. So have you worked on Splunk?
Sorry.
Have you integrated Splunk plugin into your app?
Yeah, I have good experience on Splunk. So basically working on the Splunk server. Yeah, I was working on Splunk server and having the various kinds of bank related queries inside that. And also responsible for handling the Splunk integration with third party integration environment. Yeah, and also working on the responsible for the orchestration and management. So trying to work on this bank service deployment, and how we could use the various dashboards inside plans which can be taken in the case and released on top of the application source code. Yeah, so I was responsible for working on the Splunk dashboard, Splunk query language, which can be used to be able to create custom integrations. In this case, handwork on the Splunk Universal Log Forwarder was to be installed on the remote machines as per the source code integration, and get the application released on top of that.
Okay. So can you tell me what are the possible scenarios you could think about a job running for a very long time?
Yes. So
what could happen to a job that results in a very long time execution?
Yeah. So basically coming to the possible scenarios for running on job. For a very long time, I would like to say the main thing is that there can be like an executive which will be blocked in the case. So this will be like a big problem in this case. So the executive will not be actually left out. And this case, then this can be kind of getting the executive block from specific job. So we have to get all other jobs waiting. So yeah, the other jobs can be blocked and then disconnected because the other jobs to stall out, and the other jobs can specifically not execute because there is no executive left. So we have to go in manually, stop the job and restart the console output and check the output for a specific long inside the TTE.
Okay. So how about your database skills? Are you comfortable with databases, writing queries and troubleshooting things? Like what database are you more?
Yeah. So coming to the databases, I would like to say that I'm actually working on the Amazon Relational Database Services, and also working on Amazon Amazon Postgres SQL Server, which is also working on some of the MS SQL Server, which is the Microsoft SQL Server for the Amazon, and also work on some of the release integration of the Microsoft environment. So, and also work on the Amazon integration with third parties, so that we can actually get the services are handled on top of that. And also worked on MySQL databases, include MongoDB, and also working on Mother Elasticsearch database, and also got some experience. So DynamoDB and Amazon. So I got experience on setting up the JDBC connections of the API, and also work on this some of the integration environments, JDBC API services, which were created the dynamic TV service.
So okay, and that's perfectly fine, right? So Are you familiar with Groovy scripts or like any programming language that you are comfortable? What programming language, like Groovy, JavaScript, what is the language that you're comfortable?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Groovy as well as Python, and also work matching of the Ruby script inside the Apple. I got good experience on working with the shell and bash of the PowerShell.
How would you rate yourself in Python? How much, 1 to 10?
So Python, I would like to say actually, yeah, and Python integration, 8 out of 10.
Okay, so in Python, right? So tell me, okay, so let's say that you need to create a file, right? And a file is basically you're reading a database, then you're constructing a file. Okay? Very simple, straightforward thing. Tell me, like a high level, what kind of libraries will you use, and how would you write a commodity separator file?
So yeah, I'm basically reading a file values, the OS module, and perform the closing. There is closing the file module, and also the basic models for that, because it is a standard libraries. So I don't need to import a lot of other models unnecessarily. But then I would like to say once it is it is important. We can actually open that using the deep file open inside that, and we can actually open the file using the f.open file name.
Okay, f.open file name. And alrighty. So in your Python program, right? So let's say that you have 1 gigabyte of log file, right? You have a JVM out file, in short.
Yes.
Right? In that JVM out, it's a big log file with some scattered data, but in the scattered data you have something useful data as well. How would you parse that data out?
So basically in Python, if you have 1 gigabyte of log file, so we can actually go and open it. In chance, I would like to say we can also we can try the open and the large files inside the Python by using journaling file system inside, so that we can try to not split the file into smaller words. And inside it, I will be acquire time to break that into smaller files, and then also we'll be also trying to make sure that they are not opening the entire file at the same time. So we can do something like using the X-read line inside that. So there will be you said that that we also using the following, going over line by line without running the entire file at the same time.
All right. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Anuja. Hey, David and Nitya, I need to drop, but I'm good. Sure. Thanks, Navin. David said, he has some WebEx. Okay. David, can you hear us, David?
Yep. Sorry, guys. I had some technical issues. I'm back. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. David, Navin has to got to drop. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you want to? I mean, I'm good. With the time check, we have 10 minutes.
Sure. So
sorry. Excuse me. I have a hard. I will leave in 8 minutes because I have a hard stop in 8 minutes. Actually, I have an office.
No worries. So let me ask you. Do you have any questions for us? Well, how are you feeling so far with the interview?
Yeah, I want to know the team size and day-to-day activities, and what are the next steps.
Okay.
From here.
So team size right now in Chennai, we have one person, and we actually already hired 2 more that's coming on board in Chennai. Okay. So then we have 1 more opening, so that's going to be 4 total, right? In the U.S., we have 1, 2, 3. We currently have 4, and we're probably going to increase to either 5 or 6. So that's around the team size. So you have 2 locations, 1 in the U.S., 1 in Chennai, right? The daily activity. So we're the DevSecOps support team, right? So we're obviously going to be supporting all DevSecOps services and products, right? And that means anyone with any issues, concerns, problems, they come to us. However,
Yes.
You know, we do have a tools team that manages the tools, right? So they kind of manage the day-to-day, you know, request type stuff, right? We're actually the team that answers, you know, if something's broken, you know, we go about fixing it, right? And that's why I kind of talked to you about the SRE, right? Because our team, we want our team to become an SRE team, right? We don't just want to be, you know, users calling us for problems, right? We want to be proactively managing the infrastructure, writing code, putting in process improvements, putting in automation so that those issues goes away, right? Proactively, you know, kind of healing the environment, if you will, right? So that's kind of so the team is, you know, newly formed, right? We just really, you know, started on this journey, right? It was formed back in I think March or around that time frame. So it's fairly new. So we're getting a lot of the processing in place, right? And obviously, we have the company is pretty large, right? And we have other areas like, you know, desktop support and all that stuff that is very, very mature. But for the DevSecOps support team, you know, this is something that we're just spinning up, and we want to, you know, kind of take the journey to become an SRE team. Does that help you?
Yes, I'm feeling good about the team as of now.
Okay. And then, you know, so let me also ask, because we are a support team, right? So, you know, we want to do that 24-by-hour support. We have a US team, we have a Chennai team. How do you feel about on-call, you know, off-hour support, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm totally okay with you on call residency. I have a meeting in like 7 minutes, which means that I dislike the night time in India. So basically that is like not a problem for me. I would like to see in this.
Okay. You what?
Sorry?
What did you say last?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, good. Do you have any other questions? Did I answer all your questions? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm good as of now.
Okay. I do have one more question. So why should we hire you?
Sorry?
Why should we hire you?
So basically, I'll be trying to, you know, contribute to the team and offer maybe become a team member where I can easily get the things done and also make sure that, you know, instrument the latest stuff and latest integrated technologies and work as a team player. So this is the main reason why I should be hiring, why you should be hiring me. So I'm someone who totally dynamic as what is the working hours and technology is concerned.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. I know you have a hard stop, so I don't have any other questions. Nithya?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yes, I'm good.
All right. And then I think you asked about next steps, right? So next steps, you know, I'm obviously going to talk to the team. I'm going to talk to Naveen, see, you know, the interview, and then we'll kind of provide feedback from there. Anything else? Anything else that you want to ask?
Sorry?
Do you have any other questions for us?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. And then what is your, so I know you said your contract is over. So when is that over and what is your availability?
Yeah, it's June 15th.
June 15th? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for, you know, spending time with us. I think, you know, I will definitely talk to the team and then, you know, we'll provide some feedback and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.